Mark from Watch or Pass, and today I'm going to talk to you about a strange movie, but one I really love. It's called Pig. It's being released in theaters on July 16th, 2021, and it stars Nic Cage. And surprisingly, it is a reserved Nic Cage character. I mean, I know Nic Cage has been kind of playing all sorts of eccentric characters, but this one is Cage at his best. I mean, it's really good, but it's a very different film. So I'm going to talk to you about the film, three things I really liked, three things I didn't like, and then kind of get into some of the story elements while I'm talking about that. So this is a good time to warn you that there will be spoilers in this review. So if you haven't seen Pig, it's being released by the time this goes up, it's in theaters now. So go check it out and then come back and watch this video review. Or if you don't care about spoilers, just want to know more about the film, feel free to watch, but you have been warned. So let's see. Pig, it's a tough movie to describe. It really kind of, it has all sorts of different genres. It kind of starts off as like a thriller, because in it Nic Cage plays a hermit who has a truffle hunting pig, and he kind of has this arrangement with a local businessman who's played by Alex Wolff. And so Nic Cage is out in this kind of secluded cabin. He goes out and hunts truffles and then sells them to Wolff, who then kind of gives him money and supplies to continue this lifestyle. And everything is, it's all very slow and good until Nic Cage's truffle pig is kidnapped. And then Nic Cage has to go and find the pig. Where's the pig? What happened to the pig? And so then it becomes more of a like a mystery type film, a drama. But through this all, there is a lot of like interesting commentary on life and like modern society, and also there's some comedy. There's a lot of really funny comedic moments in this film. So it has all these different kind of genres. It's like part thriller, part drama, part comedy, and also in it turns into kind of like a cooking show, because Nic Cage, we find out, is this like stellar respected chef who kind of shunned society and went back up into the mountains to live a secluded life. And so there's one scene where he prepares this really amazing meal, and it's kind of like a food porn, perfect preparation video. And so it has all these different genres, and through it all you've got Nic Cage, who is playing this very different role than I think we're used to. I mean, okay, so this is probably a good time to get into the things I liked about this movie. So the first thing I liked is Nic Cage and Alex Wolff. Nic Cage, as I mentioned, he plays a very different role than I think we're used to. He's always played, not always, he has recently played more eccentric characters. You've got these kind of out there characters, these crazy characters. Nic Cage has kind of been, he's been going into, he's kind of played very interesting different characters, and this is also an interesting different character. But this one, he is eccentric, but he is not like out there. His character is very reserved. His character is supremely confident, and his character is really well done. I mean, I think everyone knows that Nic Cage can act, but I think we've all kind of forgotten that because of the absurdity that Nic Cage has kind of become. His persona is kind of taking on this larger than life persona. But in this one, he's really good. Like, he's really convincing. I liked his character being a little more quiet. He kind of opens up as the movie goes on and becomes more verbose as he gets back into society. But at the start, and especially through the journey, he is a very quiet, introspective character. And so you get this philosopher hermit who also kind of has all these, this past life that you don't really even realize until he starts going back into society. And you've got this quiet, reserved, confident character who is contrasted with Alex Wolff, who plays this kind of fast-talking business person his main role is he buys the truffles from Cage and then takes them to restaurants and sells them to restaurants. But you have this wonderful interplay between them, because Nic Cage's character, he's kind of experienced life and has chosen to go be a hermit. And you've got Alex Wolff, who is kind of starting off and trying to get as successful as he can be. And he has like hints of like a hustler in there, because he's kind of making deals. He's trying to live like a fast lifestyle, and he has all these connections, but he's really trying to grow and get his experience, whereas Cage has already had it and has chosen to go into the woods. And they have a really fun dynamic. It's really, their characters, they don't mesh well, but they kind of clash in interesting ways, and it's a really fun experience to see. So the next thing I loved about this film is the mystery of the story. You don't really know where it will go next. It starts off in the woods, and then it kind of goes into as Cage is trying to find his pig. But as this is happening, a lot about Cage's backstory is revealed. You find out that he was this kind of celebrated chef. He has this photographic memory of everything he's done in his previous life. And when I say previous life, I mean his life before he went to be a hermit. Not that he's been reincarnated, although maybe he has. Who knows? And so you get to see all these interesting layers of Cage and of Cage's character as the film progresses, and you kind of get little tidbits here and there. It's like a nice meal. Like you'll get a little bit of a taste here, a little bit of a taste there, and you don't really get the whole experience until the entire film is kind of laid before you. Then you have the entire meal experience. It's a really interesting film, and I'll get into later, it's not going to be for everyone, but I really enjoyed it. The last thing I liked, and I've actually kind of talked about this already, is the film has many different genres. It's kind of a tough film to classify because you've got this kind of drama about this hermit. You've got this thriller part where he's searching for his pig. You've got the comedic aspects. There's a really funny scene where they go to a high-end restaurant and they're describing the meal as like in the elements of it and what the experience is like, and then Cage just kind of picks it up and like pops in his mouth, just not so nonchalant. It's perfect. And then you also have the cooking aspects of it that kind of come later, and so you've got all these different types of films all into one, and it kind of all melds together in a very nice way. Like it's a film that doesn't really set itself on a genre and kind of leads you through this experience as you're learning more about Cage's character, his ideas, and the interplay between him and Wolff. Like I say, it's a very interesting film. It has a lot of different layers. It's something that you kind of have to experience. But here are the things that I didn't like, or that I think that people might not like. I mean, let's be clear. I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was very interesting. I liked Nic Cage's character. I liked the mystery of it. I liked how, we didn't learn much about it. But the things that I didn't love are, first, the pace of the story. This film is a slow moving, slow developed film, especially at the start when you don't know much about Cage's character. You don't really know what happened to the pig. The film develops very slowly, and that's okay with me. I'm okay with a slow film, but it did drag a little bit. And if you're kind of coming and expecting this like hermit man on fire, which it has at some points, you've got this like hermit guy looking for his pig. He kind of goes to extremes to get it. You might be expecting something a little bit more action packed, and that's not what this film is. It doesn't have a ton of action. There are some scenes with action, but overall the film is a slow moving exploration, not so much an action packed movie. So the second thing I didn't love about this film is the story is not very tense. I mean, this is partly to do with Nic Cage's character as as the film develops, as you learn more about him, you learn he's a very confident, very competent character. I mean, he's not so up to date on modern technology because he's been in the woods for a very long time, but like he knows what to do, he knows where to go, and he has a very extreme confidence as he's looking for his pick, and it makes it so it's not very tense. It's not like a film where the person is kind of floundering trying to find the kidnapped child, or trying to find the missing device. You don't have that type of confusion in this film because of Cage's character. It's partly his character. His character knows a lot. It's partly his demeanor. His demeanor is a very confident, quiet person. So you don't get the types of extreme emotion that you might normally get. I mean, there is emotion in this film, but you don't get the types of extremes that you might get in other movies. And so the leads to the story being not very tense. And then the last thing that I didn't love is that this is going to sound harsh, but at the end of the day, it's a pig, and I know that truffle pigs are very, very rare, but the ultimate kidnappee is a pig, which isn't as emotionally attached as, say, like a child or something like that. I kept thinking Man on Fire for this film, and Man on Fire did an amazing job of kind of humanizing this character and showing why he had to then go out and do these terrible things to find this child. I think in Pig, we don't get enough time with Cage and the pig at the start before the actual film happens. And then at the end of the day, it's still a pig. So there's less of an emotional connection than, say, a child or a family member. And then also partway through the film, Cage says essentially he doesn't need the pig for his job to find truffles, which is why I thought like the main concern was, there's a truffle pig, they're rare, they're tough to train, he's going to lose his livelihood. He says that he can find truffles by himself. He just likes the pig. He likes the companionship, which, look, I'm I like animals too. I'm a pet person, although I don't have a pet right now, but I'm a pet person. I understand that connection. But at the end of the day, it just didn't have as much of an emotional connection for me as maybe if it had done something, if it had been a different scenario that was kidnapped, or maybe if they had established the relationship a little bit earlier and kind of, maybe spent a little bit more time developing that before the pig disappeared. But I won't begrudge this film because it is a very interesting film. It's a unique experience. It's something that you're not really going to get in many other types of films. And you get to see Nic Cage doing a very serious role, which was really fun. Like I think I also, I love me a good Nic Cage film. I think a lot of people do. And I've gotten used to like this, like Cage as this persona, Cage as this like extreme person. And it was really, really fun to see him in this movie, in this, more reserved role, this kind of masterclass in acting. He really put on a great performance, but in not a way that I expect, and I think not a way a lot of people might expect. So Pig is being released in theaters July 16, 2021. My review, I gave it a watch because I really loved it. I think this film, there are going to be some aspects that people don't like. Maybe the pace of the film, maybe this kind of, there's some strangeness to it, but there's something that I enjoyed. I think a lot of people will. It might not be for you, but if this sounds like something that is interesting, then you should definitely check it out. It's an experience that you're not really going to get with many other films. So it's, something that you might enjoy. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. And if you want to check out any more videos, reviews, unboxings, and interviews, just check out more on the YouTube channel or go to watcherpass.com for some written content. Thank you so much.